Well, hey there, friendships. Welcome back to Curtis' Corner. If you're new here, hi, I'm Curtis. This is my corner, and on today's Film Friday, we are going to be talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is going to be spoiler-free. If you would like me to do a spoiler review and talk about certain aspects of the film, leave comments down below letting me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because of weekly videos that go out. And let's just dive right in. So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is the 5th film in the Phase 4 lineup. This film follows direct events that were shown in WandaVision, as well as aspects of the show What If. So basically, you need to watch, obviously, the first Doctor Strange. You need to watch WandaVision. You need to watch What If. And essentially pretty much the entire MCU, but definitely Spider-Man No Way Home as well, because that touches upon the multiverse. But anyways, those are the 3 main things that you do need to watch, is Doctor Strange, WandaVision, Spider-Man No Way Home, and then you can watch this one and pretty much understand what's kind of going on. But Sam Raimi honestly did a magnificent job. I like how he directs. I like the visuals of what was in his head coming to life on screen. I don't think the CGI was too terrible. There were times where, yeah, it could have been maybe a little more polished, but they'll have it a little more polished by the time it comes out onto DVD. Anyways, not everything is going to be super perfect, and part of reviews and videos like these are so that people who have worked on the film can actually look at these reviews and see what people are saying about them in order to change things for the better for the DVD and Blu-ray release. Gargantos, or whatever you want to call him, the big giant one alien tentacle monster guy, he looked pretty good. I will say he looked pretty decent. I think there were times where he was a little off, but otherwise, for the most part, he had some good effects going on, and he looked believable to be in that scene. The demons that you can see in the trailer around Zombie Strange, they could have had a little more work done to make them a little more believable as being part of the scene, but otherwise, for the most part, again, they were done pretty well. There's other visual effects that the rendering could have been done a little bit better, such as the third eye that appears on Doctor Strange, but otherwise, the CGI as a whole is pretty decent in this. You can tell which parts are practical effects, which I love. The cinematography and just kind of making you kind of feel confused in the moment is fantastic, because it is very much a very confusing movie if you don't kind of go in with an understanding of kind of what the multiverse is, which is what the past needed to watch things are. And they kind of explain it in those past entries that I said are required watching before watching this. Doctor Strange, he was decent in his sequel movie. I found he had even though he wasn't in it as much, I found he had a bigger, more impactful position in Spider-Man No Way Home than he did in his own film. America Chavez, while just being kind of thrown into this film with no explanation at all, really, she was a great addition to the MCU. Wong I found was way more important in this film than even Doctor Strange himself, which is strange, because he is supposed to be more of a side character, considering especially it's not called Wong in the Multiverse of Madness, it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I will say, however, the absolute highlight of this film is Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch. Every scene she's in, she steals the show. Not only does she look fantastic, her character arc from when we first met her in Age of Ultron right up until now has been one of the best character arcs so far. And while it's not something that you really want to see one of your favorite superheroes do, you can kind of see where she is coming from, especially based off of the ending of WandaVision, where she's kind of going and how she was kind of led to this point in this film. My only cons, I would say, about this film would be that the runtime is definitely too short. Yes, you didn't need an entire lead up to anything really, because the prior 4 things that are required watching before coming to see this are basically the lead up to this movie. So you don't actually need that introductory portion of the film. I still feel like the story they were going for, it ended up being too fast paced and they needed to slow it down and explain more. So having like an extra half hour to even an hour, I would have loved it to be a 3-hour movie. I could have sat there and just watched this movie for 3 hours. But add an extra half hour to it. Even, you know what? Even 20 minutes. An extra 20 minutes would have probably benefited this movie even. Just to help explain and slow things down a little bit more. And so the pacing was too quick. And it was almost seeming like from the start to the finish, they were just running right to the end. And we needed those like slow lull moments. And while they tried to have them in there, there wasn't enough to slow down the pacing of the film, because it kind of like slowed down to like a jog rather than a run. My other con that really stood out to me, and unless I'm completely missing it, is Wanda's accent. She does not have an accent, and if she does, then it's very, very, very minuscule that it goes unnoticed. Her acting and how she's, while coming off as aggressive, also scared, also hesitant, also sad, all at the same time comes across. But there's no Sokovian accent. And I just want to know why, especially considering in WandaVision, when she comes out of the wall or she's truly embracing herself, you can hear that Sokovian accent. But then why, when she's fully as the Scarlet Witch, is she not having that Sokovian accent? But we do spend some time in other multiverses. Now, we're shown many multiverses, but we don't spend a lot of time. We basically spend time in, I want to say maybe 3, 4 max. And while that's okay, I do wish we could have spent time in at least 6. I think 6 would have been a good filler, like tease us with some, but then let us like live in the moment of like 6 different multiverses. We spend some time in some of the multiverse worlds, but not enough time to kind of get the grasp on what is happening in that world, really. And we do obviously meet the members of the Illuminati in this universe, which a lot of speculation has been going around. We obviously know Professor X, Charles Xavier, is one of them. And we obviously know Mordo is one of them, because it's, again, shown in the trailers. We never found out who the other 4 people were. There was always speculation that it would be this person or this person or this person. Some of the speculations have been correct. All I'm going to say is certain fan castings were absolutely correct. That's all I'm going to say on that. I will say when I did see certain people appear on the screen, I definitely did cheer and clap. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I think it was great. I want to see it again. The horror aspects that Sam Raimi was trying to bring in definitely do fit into this film. I do wish it was a little more elevated to be more scary, because they had marketed it before even releasing the trailer as Marvel's first horror. And I think they could have just gone a little bit more with the horror elements into this. There's a couple jump scares here and there. The visuals, some of them are a little bit creepy, but for the most part, it's just like any typical MCU film, aside from the plot, the storyline, and how the camera work is, the direction of the film. It is very different in that sense. But essentially, it still feels like a superhero movie. And I really hope that they do kind of continue kind of like a formula like this, where they can add elements of horror and make the MCU darker as everyone is getting older. We don't want all of the, while you start targeting, with kids and full families, we want to evolve, almost like how the Harry Potter franchise did, where it started for just kids, and as the kid audience grew up, so did the kids in the world, and then therefore that world became darker and darker and darker as the films went on. I think the MCU should be doing that, making some parts obviously lighthearted and funny to ease the tension, but keep it getting darker as, more and more films come out, and deal with more heavier and creepier, darker tones, and have fun. Just dive right into the horror elements, because just do it. I would be here for it. So, all of that being said, I'm going to give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness an A-. I think it is definitely a fun film that you can watch. Take kids to it. Let them get scared. It's not super scary where they're going to have nightmares forever. They're going to have a couple jump scares and move on with their day. But it's all these characters that they have seen and loved before. So it's not going to, scare them. It might traumatize them seeing certain characters and what happens with them. But I don't want to say any more than just that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, make sure you give this video a like. Don't forget to leave comments and subscribe to my channel for weekly videos. Also, hit that notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video, because if you don't, how else are you going to know when I post? You won't. So do it. It's time to clean my room, because it's a mess. I'll have a new video on Monday. Just playing around, hanging out, chit-chatting. But until then, goodbye, friendships.